is Gabe Nadwick with my week 6 presentation on ADRs for MPA 545, Conflict Resolution and Labor Negotiations for California Baptist University for Professor Curtis's class. So the first ADR that we read about this week was the Early Neutral Evaluations, or the ENE, and the basic structure of an ENE is that it's the person who's kind of leading the evaluation is a neutral third party, and both sides and the third party listen to the facts and the arguments, and then at the end the third party will provide a non-binding legal opinion, which is basically kind of a way for the two parties to use as a stepping stone to kind of move forward in the process to decide which side's right, or how they're going to proceed with any sort of future workings, or how they're going to resolve their issues. The article that I read was actually written in 1988, and it was actually talking about an experimental program called ENE, and they started with small groups, or a small number of groups who went through this process, and over the years began to use more groups. And after those experimental trials, they basically found that the attorneys and the clients obtained a lot of useful information, and it was helpful. And basically the end result was that they all strongly believed that the process was worthwhile, and that they were able to, the counsels and the parties were able to confront the case systematically instead of, I guess, more going through litigation. So the dispute resolution board, it's used more for large projects. There's a panel of experts, and the board at the end will issue any sort of non-binding rulings on a contract issue. The article that I read was actually, or not the article, the article. It was saying that this is good for like job site disputes, and that it's established at the commencement of a project or the beginning of a project, and then at regular intervals during the worksite project, they'll evaluate and have people go through and evaluate and make sure everything's still beneficial for both sides. The mini trial, this one's also non-binding. I just got tired of the graphic on the last two slides. And it's a non-binding voluntary structured hearing, and it's usually conducted by an attorney or a retired judge who's usually chosen. And after the hearing, the two parties they'll get together and try and see if they can reach a settlement at that point, after all the evidence and any sort of advice from the attorney or the judge are presented. The article that I read for this one actually said that the mini trial is a misnomer. It's actually a structured negotiation process rather than a judicial proceeding, which makes sense. Again, it's not an actual trial. They're not going through, and again, it's non-binding, so the whole point is to meet so that they can resolve their dispute. So that's the mini trial. The summary jury trial is similar, except that it actually goes through the whole jury selection process. There will be in the non-binding trial, the whole process is abbreviated, and after the jury deliberation, they'll try to reach a settlement. Otherwise, they'll have to go ahead with the full trial. It's basically an opportunity for them to go through the kind of trial process and see how things would go, and again, if maybe new evidence is brought to light, or if provides a new way of looking at things. The article I read for this one was talking about the selection process, like why somebody or why two groups would go through a jury trial, or a summary jury trial. The main reasons are if there's a difference of opinion over what the jury's perception of the facts would be, or if one or more of the parties has an unrealistic view of like the merits of the case, exactly like what it would involve or the benefits of it, or also if the parties are reluctant to reach a settlement because they just want to have their day in court. So those could all be good reasons to proceed with a summary jury trial. And the news article that I found actually talks about one of the first Zoom summary jury trials in a county in Texas, which might actually even be the first summary jury trial via Zoom in the nation. But the author of the news article was basically saying that they went through the whole jury selection process over Zoom and then presented all the normal things they would have for the summary jury trial with the judge, the facts, the jurors looking on. And they pointed out that one of the interesting things is that the jurors seemed very engaged, but they almost seemed like they were presenting information like it was some sort of Netflix show that they were just sitting back and watching, kind of like the gentleman in the bottom right there. But I'm not sure if we would actually start seeing more legal trials going via Zoom, but just given the times and how things are going, it's an interesting way of proceeding and how we're using technology to go through these ADR processes. So here are my references for the articles and things like that I read, the journal articles. So thanks for watching. Have a great week.